start your child's pose. Take your big toes together, your knees as far apart as is comfortable for you. And push your butt back on your heels. And relax in your balasana, child's pose. Start to find your breath here, in and out through the nose. Your ujjayi breath. Make a slight audible sound by restricting the back of your throat on your inhales and your exhales. Start to find your intention for your practice today. Inhale, exhale. And just connect to your breath. Try not to think about anything other than your inhalation and your exhalation. Just be here. In through the nose and out through the nose. Feel your rib cage expand on every inhale. On your next inhale, come up onto all fours into a tabletop position. Shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Your hips are stacked over your knees. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze for cow. Exhale, round spine and tuck your chin for cat. Inhale, cow, gaze is up. Exhale, cat. And do a couple rounds at your own pace. Inhaling for cow and exhaling for cat. Get the spine nice and warmed up. Meet me back in a neutral tabletop. And tuck your toes and push your hips up and back. Come into the first downward dog. Just take a moment to check out your alignment. Your hands are shoulder distance apart. Your middle finger is pointing towards the top of your mat. Your hips are pulling up towards the sky. Your feet are hip distance apart. And your heels are pressing towards the earth. And go ahead and pedal out your dog here, bending one knee and then the other. And move around however you need to. Inhale, come up onto the balls of your toes, look past your hands, bend your knees, and step to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head extends towards the front. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, slowly roll all the way up to Tadasana, mountain pose. So find your Tadasana. Find the four corners of your feet. Ground down through the earth. Make sure your knees are stacked over your ankles, your hips over your knees. No hyperextending. Your tailbone shooting straight down. Shoulders are slightly rolled back. Chest is proud. And inhale, arms reach. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head extends. And exhale, forward fold once more. hanging ragdoll here for a little bit, so grab your opposite elbows and let the weight of your upper body pull you closer to your legs. And sway a little bit here if you need to. Plant your hands and step your feet back. Come into a high plank pose. If this is too much for you, drop onto your knees. Try to stay on the fleshy part above your knee rather than on your actual knee. It will feel much better. So our shoulders are stacked over our wrists. Our core is strong. Inhale. Exhale, lower halfway and all the way down to the mat. Our hands are by our rib cage. And then inhale, we're going to lift our upper body and come into cobra. We should be able to lift our hands off the mat here. There's no weight in our hands. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, come up for cobra one more time, maybe a little bit higher this time. And exhale, push up and back, downward facing dog. And take a couple breaths here. In and out through the nose, Ujjayi breath. Inhale onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, and step or hop to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. In the inhale, rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Then exhale, hands release, Tadasana. And we'll do sun salutation A one more time. So find your Tadasana. Four corners of your feet are grounded. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, swan dive, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head extends forward. And exhale, plant your hands, step back, high plank. And again, take a breath here in plank pose. Make sure you are one straight line all the way from your head to your heels. And exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, sweep your chest up and forward. Keep your thighs off the mat for upward facing dog. And exhale, flip your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. And again, take a couple breaths here. Pedal out your dog some more if you need to. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky. Step it through to meet your hands. Drop your back leg. Untuck your toes. And come up for low lunge pose. Now take your hands behind your back here. Do a nice shoulder rinse. Lift your chest up towards the sky. Keep your right hip from jutting out. It may want to here. And exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. And inhale the left leg up, step it through to meet your hands, drop your right knee, untuck your toes, and slowly come up. Take your shoulder rinse on the left side, your left hip in towards your midline. Heart is open to the sky. And exhale, plant your hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths in your downward facing dog here. Pedal it out, move around, whatever you gotta do. Inhale, come up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands release. We'll start a little bit of balancing posture, so come into your Tadasana. Tailbone shooting down, grounding on the four corners of your feet. Weight is evenly distributed. We're not hyperextending our knees. And take the weight into your right foot, bring your left knee into your chest. And go ahead and grab your ankle and see if you can place it on the inside of your right thigh. If you cannot get the right thigh, take it down to your shin. If that's too much, you can even have it right by your ankle and resting on the floor if you need that extra support for your balance. So take whatever variation works for you. Take your hands to prayer to begin. When we find our balance, find your dristi, that one spot gaze, that point that does not move, will help you balance. And go ahead and take your full expression. Maybe your arms reach up. Maybe you're a swaying tree. You can lean a little bit to the left here. Whatever feels good. And take the left leg, the left knee into the chest one more time. Go ahead and wrap it around your right leg. If you can wrap it, if you can double wrap it, do it. If not, one time is fine. Right here is fine. Take the left arm underneath the right arm and wrap up for your eagle. You want to lift your elbows here so that they're in line with your shoulders. You'll get a nice upper back stretch. Push the forearms away from your face. Sink a little deeper. And go ahead and unravel. And shake it out. Roll out your ankle if you need to. Find your Tadasana once more. Evenly distribute your weight. And then take the weight into the left foot. Bring the right knee into your chest. Find your dristi or gaze. Take the ankle inside the upper thigh, shin, or ankle. Not the knee. Not the knee. And take your hands to your heart. And embrace the ankle dance. Inhale, arms reach, take your full expression. Sway if you'd like to. And bring your right knee back into your chest. Wrap it over your left leg once or twice if you can. The right arm goes under the left and wrap up for eagle. Garudasana. Forearms are pulling away from your face. Shoulders are in line with your elbows. Sink a little deeper. And exhale. Unravel. Shake it out. Move around. Find your Tadasana when you are ready at the top of your mat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back high to low plank. Inhale, chest sweeps forward, upward facing dog, ears are away from the shoulders. And exhale, downward facing dog. And lift the right leg up towards the sky. Keep the hips square at first. And then go ahead and open it up. Open up your hip. Try not to collapse in your left shoulder here. Keep your shoulders strong. And exhale. Step the right leg through and come into lizard pose. So your hands are on the inside of your right leg. Your knee is stacked over your ankle. And if this is okay, you can come down onto your forearms. But you can stay on your hands if that's intense already. So again here, try and keep your hips square towards the front of the room. Your right hip may want to jut out. Just pull it back in. And go ahead and step back. Come back into downward facing dog. And take the left leg up towards the sky, keeping the hips square to begin. And then open up the hip. Watch so you're not collapsing in your right shoulder. And reach your knee towards the sky. And inhale, step it through to meet your hands. Bring your hands to the inside of your foot and come into lizard pose on the left. So again, the left hip is going to want to jut out. Pull it back towards your midline. Keep your upper body proud. Keep your head reaching towards the front of the room. And step back. Come into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg to the sky. Step it through to meet your hands. And come up for your high lunge pose. Anjaneyasana. Again, right hip. Pull it in. And find your full expression. Inhale your heart to the sky. And exhale, open it up to the side of the room. Come into a spread eagle. Hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. All the way down. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale, fold one more time. Take your hands to the mat. Take them wherever is comfortable. A lot of people find it comfortable to put your hands in a somewhat of a tripod position with your head. And your head may be nowhere near the ground, and that is fine. And if it is near the ground, and you're comfortable going up in the middle of the room, go ahead and come up into your tripod headstand. If you've never done a tripod headstand, today's maybe not the best day to try it. Or you can go to the wall and try it, but be careful. You want to make sure you're not too far away from the wall, because then you put a hole through it. It's happened in my house. And if you are upside down, come back and meet us in Prasarita Padottanasana, that wide-legged forward fold. Put a slight bend to your knees, take your hands to your hips, and slowly bring yourself back up. And spin to the right, come back into your Anjaneyasana on your right leg. Your right leg is in front. We're in high lunge. And exhale, hands to the mat, step back, vinyasa, high to low plank. Inhale, upward face. Exhale, downward facing dog. So inhale your left leg to the sky. And step it through to meet your hands. And come up, high lunge, Anjaneyasana. on the left. Your heart is to the sky. Your left hip is pulling in towards your midline. Your hips are square. And exhale, open it up. Double lunge pose. Toes are pointing out, heels are in. And sink your hips. And take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers for a nice shoulder rinse here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Heart is open. Shoulders are pulling away from your ears. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little lower. And inhale, straighten your legs. Take your heels out. Toes are facing forward. Keep your arms where they are. And exhale, hinge from the hips. Forward fold with your shoulder rinse. So try and reach your knuckles towards the floor here to get a nice deep stretch in your shoulders. Again, don't worry about how close you actually are to the ground because it really doesn't matter. So. Release your hands to the mat. Take your hands to your hips. Slight bend in your knees. And slowly come back up. Spin back to the left, to the front of your mat. Into your Anjaneyasana. Once more. Heart to the ceiling. And exhale. Hands to the mat. Step your left foot back. High plank. Exhale, elbows shoot straight back, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Drop to your knees and come into child's pose. Take a minute here to breathe. Reconnect to your breath if you've lost it. I don't know why, as humans, we hold our breath when things are hard. When you think about it, it makes zero sense. Why do we do that? I don't know, but we do. So come back up onto your knees. Come into a tabletop position. And take your hands out slightly and just melt your heart. Extended puppy pose or melting heart pose or whatever you want to call it. Anahatanasana. Your chest is reaching towards the mat. It may not get there. Again, that's okay. Your hips are stacked over your knees. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And go ahead and thread the needle. Thread it underneath your left arm. Take your right ear to the mat if you can. Go ahead and unwind, arm reaches up, and exhale, lower it back down, back to your melting heart pose, Anahatanasana. Inhale the left arm to the sky, and exhale, thread the needle on the left. Try to get your left ear to the mat, but if it doesn't get there, all right. Inhale, unwind, arm reaches, and exhale, come back, melting heart. Take a couple breaths in Anahatanasana. Feel how good it feels in that pose. One of my favorites. Make your way onto your belly. Let's come into Sphinx pose. So our arms are like a sphinx. Shoulders over the elbows, palms flat on the mat, right in front of you, shoulder distance. Chest is proud. Shoulders are pulling away from our ears. This is another great pose. It's a gentle back bend. Feels so, so good. And exhale, lower onto the mat. Take your hands behind your back once more. Clasp your hands. And on the inhale, we're going to lift our chest up and come into cobra with our shoulder rinse. And exhale, lower back down to the mat. And release your hands once more. And this time, our legs are going to come up also. So inhale your legs and your upper body. Lift up off the mat for locust pose, Shalabhasana. Inhale, lift them a little bit higher. And exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Go ahead and bend your knees here. And inhale, lift your chest and reach back and see if you can grab your ankles. If you cannot grab your ankles, stay right here. If you can grab your ankles, grab them and use that to lift your legs up off the mat and your chest. Come into Dhanurasana, bow pose. Doesn't look like a bow. You just put an arrow right in this. And exhale, lower back down to the mat. Rest one cheek on the mat. We're going to do bow pose one more time. So bend your knees. Inhale, lift your chest and reach back, or grab your ankles and pull them. Pull your thighs, lift your chest, make your bow. Pull your knees in here. You don't want them to be out wide. You want to pull them in. And exhale. Come back down onto the mat. And make your way into a seated position. Your legs out in front of you. Move your sits, move the flesh out of the way on your butt so your sits bones are grounded. Keep your toes active, your feet are flexed. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, hinge from the hips. Forward fold. If you need to bend your knees here, do it. But keep your feet flexed and active. And we lengthen on each inhale, and we exhale and lower and fold deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Slowly rise back up. Bend your knees. Take your left leg, put your left heel right by your butt so it's crossing over. And take your right leg and take it over to the outside of your left knee. So you're in this little like pretzel. Okay, try and keep your hips grounded on the mat. Take your right hand on the outside of your hip. Left arm reaches up. And exhale, we twist. So use that elbow to anchor yourself on your right leg. And then on the inhale, we lengthen. And on the exhale, we twist. Only as far as you can go. Don't force anything. Keep your gaze over your right shoulder. And unwind. And switch sides. So rock back and switch legs. Right leg is underneath. Your right foot is by your left hip. Your left foot is on the outside of your right knee. Our hips are grounded. Our left hand goes on the outside of our left hip. Right arm reaches up on the inhale. And on the exhale, we twist. Gaze is over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. And slowly unwind. Come onto your back. Plug your knees into your chest. Roll around.
What are you doing?
On your low back. Get a nice low back massage on the back of the mat. Take your left leg out straight ahead of you. Keep the right knee hugging in toward your body. See if you can grab your big toe here and straighten your right leg. If you can't grab your toe, keep your hands on your calf or on your thigh. And keep your left foot active. And go ahead and open your right leg out to the side. Keep your left hip on the mat here. You don't want it popping up. And inhale, back to center. Don't mind my dog. And inhale, your knee back to your chest. And switch sides. Take the left knee into the chest. Right leg is out straight ahead. Foot is active. Straighten your left leg here. Grab wherever you can. Try not to grab on the back of your knee. Grab your thigh or your calf or your big toe. And exhale, open it out to the side. Keeping your right hip down. I've got a wall in my way, so hopefully you have a better practice area than I do. Sometimes it helps to have your hand on your hip to just encourage it to stay on the mat. And inhale back to center. Hug your knee back into your chest. And take your feet out to the edges of your mat. Keep your arms wide. Tuck your shoulder blades slightly. And come into Shavasana, corpse pose. Take a rest. It's not often that we are asked to do nothing. So take full advantage of this Shavasana because I am asking you to do nothing. Just lay there. Lie there? I don't know. I'm not an English teacher. I'm a yoga teacher. Just lie on your back, focus on your breath, in and out through the nose. Let all the benefits, what you just did, take effect in your body. We'll do a little breathing exercise while you're in Shavasana. So you're lying on your back, and on your next inhale, keep your Ujjayi breath going and inflate your belly. So breathe right into your belly. Make it inflate like a balloon, and exhale. Your belly deflates. Inhale, inflate your belly. Exhale, deflate your belly. This breathing exercise is called Sushumna Nadi. Breathing right into that main energy channel by deep belly breathing. Keep breathing your Sushumna Nadi. Inhale and inflate the belly. Exhale, deflate the belly. This pranayama helps to relax us. It's a really good breathing exercise to do right before you go to bed, or if you feel anxiety coming on, this is your best friend. When you've had enough of your Sushumna Nadi, come back to your normal breath and enjoy your Shavasana. Keep your eyes closed. Don't think about much of anything except your breath, about how good your body feels. Maybe visualize you're laying on the sand. Your body's just melting into the sand. You can feel the hot sun on your skin. Ishvara Pranidhana means to surrender. And that is what Shavasana is all about. We just did a lot of work, and now we surrender to our body's want to do nothing. Sometimes we want to work, and sometimes we don't. We need to surrender to the moment. Start to introduce small movements in your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You roll out your wrists and your ankles. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms and your legs long like you're stretching, waking up in the morning. Hug your knees into your chest and roll onto either side. Fetal position on either side. Your top leg straight and push yourself up into a comfortable seat, keeping your eyes closed. Bring your hands to your heart center. A gesture of gratitude for this practice, for your body, for all the challenges that we face, because they make us stronger. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.